We are back. Today on the podcast, Cobra Kai, Do or Die. See you in a minute. All right, guys, we are back. My name is Bill Jones, head instructor, top level martial arts in beautiful downtown Cuyahoga Falls. It is about 80 degrees outside and sunny in Ohio. With me, as always, he tried to talk before I introduced him. I punched him in the mouth. Slightly injured, slightly above novice in all things. Former friend, pal, and compadre, Mr. Edward Whitney.
Now I'm just face punched head.
Face punched head.
I was going to say, it is actually beautiful today in downtown Cuyahoga Falls.
Freaking gorgeous, man.
I cannot complain about anything.
I might go for a 4-mile run.
You should.
Thanks for not calling me out on that. I appreciate it.
Am I back to friend status?
Let everybody on the podcast think that I'm going to go for a 4-mile run. They're probably like, wow, that Bill Jones, he's a go-getter. We all know that ain't going to happen.
Yeah, we're not going to hit no 4-mile runs.
I mean, not we. I mean, I'm not going to carry you on my back or anything like I had to last time.
Oh. Okay, I misunderstood.
Yeah. So, I figured, you know, there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Avengers came out.
Yeah.
And as you know, I know you were really excited for that.
I was excited for you.
Yeah, and what else? Cobra Kai came out.
Holy crap, did Cobra Kai come out?
Yeah, so I figured we'd just talk about that. I mean, we could talk about UFC, but why?
So let's do this right now. Spoiler warning.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not holding back, guys. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to talk about a story without talking about the story. I'm not a professional critic, so if you don't want spoilers, do this.
Go watch the show.
Go watch the show. Come back. Turn the podcast back on.
It'll be a lot more enjoyable.
Yeah, it'll be way more enjoyable. And that goes for both Avengers Infinity War, any Marvel movie made before this, and all of Cobra Kai.
Speaking of which, do you know who Kobe Covington is?
No.
So he's in the UFC trying to be the heel.
Okay.
And one of the things he did was spoil the Avengers movie for everybody.
Oh, did
Just
he?
like tweeted out the ending and all the details, you know, such and such dies. And I was just like, man, that's the way to alienate some people.
Yeah.
If you want to be the bad guy, that's a good place to start. Ruin people's movies.
I guess.
Yes. So what'd you think of Infinity Wars, man?
Oh, I thought it was phenomenal.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did you watch any of it?
I did.
Yeah?
Yeah, but I don't know. I think maybe I'm missing something.
I think you are.
Yeah.
And I think we started talking about this, and I said, let's just discuss it on the podcast.
Let's do a podcast, yeah.
I think your problem is you try to sit down and watch a 2.5-hour movie at home, and you probably just fall asleep.
Every time.
Yeah.
Every time.
You need to go to the theater to see these things.
Maybe I should.
And now I realize, like, for anybody who doesn't know, I'm not going to get into Ed's complete personal details, but that's like a very expensive prospect for him. There's 5 people in his family. 6 people in his family. At like, you know, so that's like at minimum $60 to $75 for the tickets alone.
Just to get in.
And then you got the popcorn and the candy and the pot, which, you know, I mean, he's got kids. You know they're going to want it. So it's like a $200 trip for you.
All day long.
It's not like it is for me, where I can literally take, you know, a $20 bill and go to the movies.
Yeah.
You know, because I don't take my kids with me, and you know, they're 6 and 4.
I don't think they're going to like Avengers. Yeah.
You know, but you know, so like I get it. Like,
yeah.
That's probably why you don't do it, right? If you can't drop 2 bills on it, then
it's
how you gonna, you know? So anyway, so I get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's a really important part of it. At least getting into it, and because it is a spectacle. You know, it's just like Star Wars. You watch the original Star Wars at home, you're like, this is all right.
It's all right.
But like when you go to the theaters to see it, it's kind of a spectacle, right? You know, kind of like you talk about you know, UFC and all you know, all these things. It's the spectacle of it.
Yep.
And I think that you would like it more.
I think you're right.
Either way,
the environment.
Either way, you know, did you get any of the story? Did you figure out what was going
on? Basically, the bad guy was kicking the shit out of all the good guys and continued to do so. That's pretty much what I got.
Now, what was he trying to accomplish? Did you?
I didn't follow that deep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like I said, man, I tried to watch it like 3 different times. I tried to pick up where I fell asleep the day before, and
See, now, I think it's always hard to do that. If you fall asleep during a movie, your initial, now you're thinking, oh, this is a sleeper.
Yeah.
So you're not even interested the second time.
Well, I was interested the second time, but by the third time I was out. I was like, oh, man.
So for anybody who doesn't know, the general gist of the story is you got big bad guy named Thanos trying to collect, or Thanos or whatever, and he's trying to collect these things called Infinity Gems or Infinity Stones.
Yes.
Which will, I'm not going to get into the background of what they are. We don't need to nerd out that bad. They'll basically make him all powerful.
Say they're powerful rocks is what I get.
The only thing more powerful than him are a couple, depending on how nerdy you want to get, a couple Celestials and God. That's it.
Okay.
So that's why he wants it. And long story short, his planet had died because it ran out of resources. And while it was running out of resources, he said, hey, why don't we just kill off half the population at random, and then we'll have enough resource. And, part of you are like, well, yeah, I guess that would work.
That's not that half.
Not exactly fair.
Yeah.
But his thing was random. Everybody gets it. Government gets it.
No
Rich,
matter
poor, nobody's safe. Kids, old people, don't matter. Nobody's safe. And so his planet died, and so he's basically went insane after that. And so he said he wants to kill off half the universe.
Yeah.
And so that's why he wants this gauntlet, because he just wants to kill off half the universe. That's it. That's the only reason. And he's all powerful. He's super powerful as it is. So he beats up everybody. You're right. He beats the shit out of everything. But I tell you what, the thing that I like the most about it, Ed, and again, spoiler warnings right now.
Yeah.
I am going to spoil the ever-living shit out of this for you if you listen any farther and you haven't seen it. So what I liked about it is the whole movie, he's kicking the shit out of all the good guys, right? And I'm like...
He put the ass whooping on the Hulk.
Yeah, I mean, he beat up everybody. And I'm thinking, man, they just made him, way too powerful. How are they going to squeak these guys out of this? What bullshit are they going to pull out of their pocket to supposedly beat him now?
Yeah.
You know how movies will do that? They'll, set the bad guy up to be so powerful, and then all of a sudden, he forgets how to use his power for a second for some reason, and then the good guys win?
Yep.
Didn't happen.
Nope.
Turned out he was like, by the way, I'm all powerful. I'm going to kick all your asses. I'm going to kill you all. Yep. And he did it.
And that's exactly what happened.
Good for him.
And that was the end of the movie.
And that was the end of the movie.
Yeah, so.
And I mean, the downside of it for me, now, again, I can't say spoilers enough here.
Yeah.
Spider-Man and Black Panther both disappear after he snaps his fingers, half the universe dies.
Yep.
They just
gone.
disappear. They just turn into ash like they never existed. My problem with it wasn't that they killed Spider-Man or that they killed anybody. That wasn't my problem. My problem is that they chose Spider-Man and Black Panther, who, for anybody who follows Marvel movies, already have movies slated, within the next 2 years.
I was going to say they're probably...
Yes, there's background noise right along with our consistent podcasting.
Yeah, they're probably already in the can. The movies are probably already done.
Yeah, they're already filming Spider-Man 2
and I mean.
Black Panther 2. Those were blockbuster hits. And so, my problem was now I already know that they're going to find some way to mulligan these characters.
Or go prequel. Some weird before they die moment type stuff.
No, they're not doing that. They're direct sequels. Yeah, I
hope so.
Yeah, Spider-Man 2 is called Homecoming 2, and it's
okay.
the continuation of this new kid. So,
okay.
Because there wasn't really much before that. I know you don't watch them, but the first Spider-Man movie here picked up just a few months after he got his powers.
Okay.
So there wasn't really much before that.
Has there been 2 sets of Spider-Man movies, or has there only been 1 set?
There has been 3.
Okay. Because I've seen 1.
We are on our 3rd that you're thinking of.
Okay.
You're thinking of probably Tobey Maguire.
Probably. Yeah.
And he got, Uncle Ben died.
Yes.
And then the second one, and then there was...
Which I actually enjoyed that movie a little bit.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
I thought it was pretty good.
But that was, believe it or not, that was a while ago.
Yeah, I believe it. I was going to say that's probably 15 years ago, wasn't it?
And then they had, and it felt like a really fast reboot, but then they had Andrew Garfield do 2 really shitty Spider-Man movies. Okay. And then now they said, okay, we're starting it again, but Marvel's in charge of it. And it's all about who makes a better movies. Sony has shit movies, and they have control of Spider-Man. So anyway, don't want to get into all that. But the point is, this guy's doing a much better Spider-Man movie.
So let me just give a brief synopsis of the movie.
Okay.
Evil guy gets super powerful, kills off all the heroes, roll credits.
Yeah.
Damn. I can't say I hate it.
He doesn't kill them all off.
It's so different than what we're used to.
But the other thing
I almost applaud it.
The other thing I've got to. You're taking away any kind of depth that is developed in this movie.
Yeah, but I mean, I actually
like the fact that he had to kill his daughter.
Oh man.
and it mattered to him to get one of the gems. He like literally was crying as he was doing it.
Wow, that's aggressive.
Like that's how committed he was to this cause,
to this
right?
Power.
But like I can't. I mean, can you imagine any kind of cause that would be enough for you to actually kill your child? I can't.
No.
Like you know what I mean? Like that's. I mean, let's be honest. That's how dictatorships work, right? Because like eventually, at some point, they're like, okay, well, here's what we're gonna do. If you don't accept me, I'm gonna send the bad guys to your house and kill your family. How's that sound? And then you're like, you know what?
I'm on board.
I'll just do what you got to do. You know what I mean? That's why.
I don't care.
You know, that's why scientists. That's why World War II. You know what I mean? Like that's what happens.
I'm like, my family lives. Can I still teach jiu-jitsu? And I still live in the same place? I don't care.
Yeah,
I'm on board.
But anyway, that's what happens. But he was a very well developed character in the movie, and you know, like his motives were weird, but made sense for what he was saying. You know what I mean? And he had depth, and there was a little bit of surprise and shock to the fact that he did kill everybody.
Yeah.
My only problem with it, like I said, is now they've got to find a way to bring at least those two characters back. And probably more than that. Yeah. I think anybody.
Doctor Strange died too, right?
Yeah, and I think anybody who died at the end of that, like that like disappeared, I think those people are all coming back.
So maybe he just sent them to like a parallel universe or something.
No, I just think that they're going to get the glove and snap their fingers and make it never happen, because they can do that.
Oh,
that's how powerful that.
Powerful,
yeah,
okay.
it controls all of reality.
So all the like space time.
Yeah. Like I said, the only thing more powerful than that in that universe are a couple beings. One's called the Living Tribunal.
Okay.
And one is called it's basically God. It's called the One Above All.
Okay.
Those characters can override the glove. They can just say, you know what, it doesn't work anymore, and it doesn't. You know, but. For the most part, it makes you God.
In Avengers 2, we may have a God appearance.
Maybe.
That would be amazing.
Maybe, but normally their God doesn't get involved in shit. He just exists.
Kind of like
it's just like whatever.
Yeah,
you know, not my problem.
Yeah.
So
how amazing would that be if they just like brought God in to destroy the guy with the glove?
How amazing would it be if they brought him in and he was like, not my problem.
Oh, that'd be, wow! Talk about.
He's like, you know, I could fix this, but I don't care.
I don't really care.
You guys seem to have done this to yourselves, so I'm out.
Yep.
Anyway, I thought it was a really good movie. I highly recommend.
I
highly recommend you see it not once but twice.
Yeah, I did not dislike it. I enjoyed it enough to want to make it to the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So Cobra Kai. Let's go on to that because we both watched it and I think we both loved it.
I loved the shit out of it.
And you know, we can talk a little bit more about it. It's a longer thing, but let's just can I say this about it before? Oh, once again, spoilers. We're not holding
so many spoilers coming.
So, Ed, we'll challenge you to do your thing and give a brief synopsis of the story. What is it?
So you got Johnny, who's basically just deadbeat, barely skating through life. Drives like an amazing '86 Firebird with, you know, sun-stained paint.
Let's pause right there. Yeah, they were making fun of the car throughout the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
And that's like my wife's favorite car. She saw it and she was like, "Oh, it even has T-tops."
Yeah.
And like, she's like, "All it needs is a big gold bird on the car."
Yeah, I agree. I'm with you. I'm with your wife on this one. And then you got Daniel.
Yeah. Who
owns a car dealership.
My dad owns a dealership.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll sue you. My dad owns a dealership.
Yeah, and he's doing really well in life.
Yeah, good for him.
Got a sweet mansion, you know. And basically
cute wife.
Yeah, great family. You know, well, I guess his son's a little bit.
His one kid, I wanted to kick in the teeth the whole time. That kid's a little prick.
Yeah, he's got a little prick of a son. But you know, basically they're giving the appearance that because he won the All Valley Karate Tournament, his life went great. And because Johnny lost the All Valley Karate Tournament, his life has spiraled out of control. And every time you see him, he's drinking like a Coors Banquet beer.
Yeah.
And so my favorite thing they did, they just captured it so well, is the way he snaps the beer caps.
Yes.
Every time he drinks a beer, boom. It just reminds, like, every guy I've known that drinks bottles of beer, they do that.
So to finish it, it's basically how these two are resolving their life 30 years after
yes.
their little high school scuffles and,
whoa.
and problems.
Little scuffles. It was the All Valley Karate Tournament, sir. This is not a little scuffle.
But we understand, like that's what's going on, and where are they now, and where are they headed? Right?
Yep, exactly.
And you know, and I think you're right. I think initially, I think what the movie does a really good job of is saying it's not the winning and the losing that led them down these paths. It was who guided them and how.
Yeah,
right?
That's where they go later.
Yeah.
But in the beginning, they give the appearance.
Yeah, you think it's about
the
karate tournament. In reality, they flip the script and they're like, it's not about that at all.
Yeah.
It's about
who their mentors were.
Yeah, one guy was telling you, beat the fuck out of everybody in your way, and the other guy was telling you, hey, life's about balance and you know.
Yeah.
And the struggle to maintain that balance. And I think that's what this whole show is about, is that struggle, right? Like to always try to do the right thing. Because in the entire show, both of these guys do a good job of acting like a good human being and a good job of acting like a prick.
I was just getting ready to say that. There was no good guy. There was no bad guy. They're both just dudes. And they present it from like both sides.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Which I thought was cool. Like, I thought it was really awesome how neither one was the heel, neither one was the hero. They were just guys. And
it drew a lot of parallels. Like, if you haven't seen the first movie, I don't think you're going to get as much out of this.
Yeah.
Like, if you haven't seen The Karate Kid, and if, I mean...
If you are the three guys who have not seen it.
Well, I mean, let's be honest, a lot of kids these days haven't seen it.
That's true. It'd be older guys.
But, you know, if you don't have that nostalgia, then some of the tropes that are in it are going to be lost on you.
Yeah.
And if you haven't seen the YouTube video about it, why Johnny's not a bad guy,
why Daniel was the bad guy,
then a lot of the jokes are going to be lost on you too.
Yeah,
like it was an illegal kick.
Yeah, you tried to move in on my girl, dude. You moved to town and started moving in on my girl. We dated for 3 years. But yeah, I thought it was awesome. So yeah, like episode 1 opens with Johnny in the convenience store buying like a slice of pizza,
and the guy just like bear palms it with the.
Flops it on the counter, doesn't even give him a plate.
I like how he's just like holding. Nobody holds a piece of pizza that way. And this guy's got like his fingers on the cheese.
Yeah.
Like no glove. No.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny is like that first scene with the first fight scene there. So let's get into just kind of some of the things that happened and our thoughts of the things that maybe stood out to us.
Yeah.
And I realize this is going to be relatively unorganized.
Yes.
Maybe there's a more organized way we could do it. You know, what do you think of the story as a whole? Let's do that.
I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Like I said, I really liked the way that I mean, there was heroes and there was goats, but they kind of floated back and forth who was the hero and who was the goat, which I really enjoyed. And
you know, Johnny ends up taking this kid who moved into his apartment complex under his wing.
Yeah, Miguel.
Teaching him karate.
Yeah.
Cobra Kai karate.
Yes.
You know, strike first, strike hard, no mercy. Yeah, it is a badass name for a dojo. It's also in the 30 years since the movie came out, it's a Jiu-Jitsu organization as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, called Cobra Kai, and they use the same snake and everything. I wonder if they gotten any kind of
they're
having any problems with that now because
now they're
it's open again.
Yeah, now it's relevant again.
But anyway, you know, and then Daniel also throughout the story ends up taking Johnny's estranged son.
Yeah, that was a nice plot twist.
Teenage son under his wing and teaching him karate his way.
Yep.
And you know, it kind of ends up being about the struggle. They did a good job of kind of rebooting it, and initially, like, Daniel and Johnny were the main characters, but by the end of it, Miguel, Daniel's daughter,
and what was Johnny's son's name? I can't remember.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I forget his name.
Yeah.
He was a good character, though.
Yeah.
But, you know, they became the main characters.
Yeah.
And it was really more about them and their struggles now. And I think in the second season, I think it's going to be much more about that.
Yeah.
But, and the parallels between Johnny and Daniel, even though they're having these completely different lives, the parallels in the struggles that they face and the difficulties that they both have problems with their kids. They both have, you know, they don't know, you know, nobody's perfect being a dad. Nobody, you know, everybody makes mistakes.
Yep.
You know, like, and even though from the outside looking in, it's like, oh, Daniel's got the perfect life. It's like, well, he doesn't necessarily. And, you know, Johnny's a deadbeat piece of shit. Well, he's not.
He's not. He's just
a dude.
Yeah, that's
doing his best.
That's
doing what he knows.
That's what I get. Like, I think they captured the best.
Yeah.
As a whole, was just like I said. Everybody's just a person. Everybody's flawed. Everybody's heroic. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just thought that was great.
So let's go into kind of like the individual things now within the episodes. Let's start at episode 1.
Yeah.
I forget the individual names of the episodes. I'm not going to go that deep.
Yeah.
But like the first, well, we'll say the first couple episodes because it kind of runs for me into groups of episodes.
Yes.
Kind of like and I don't remember which one was first. Or whatever,
Yeah.
But in the first few, it's Johnny, and like you said, he was kind of down on his luck, and
he meets Miguel in the store with the pizza.
Yeah, well, he'd met him a little bit before that, but you know, they're kind of the pizza guy is kind of busting Johnny's balls, and Miguel kind of says, "Well, he said you had a small dick, right?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "You said I had a small wang." I love that he uses like 80s slang too.
Yes.
You said I had a small wang.
Yes.
Like nobody says wang. But you know, and then he goes outside,
and Miguel's getting beat up.
Yeah, Miguel's getting picked on.
Well, he was getting roughed up.
Yeah, getting beat up by this group of high school assholes.
Yep.
And you know, the real parallel there was like in the original movie, that's what Johnny was doing to Daniel.
Yeah.
Johnny was the rich kid beating up the poor kid.
Yep.
And making fun of him because he didn't have money or whatever.
Yep.
And you know, like, and Johnny was just kind of trying to ignore it.
Yep.
Right. He was perfectly content not jumping into this.
And then they hit the Firebird.
And game on. And I think if you've seen any of the trailers for it, you know, he kicks the guy in the face and then he grabs his groin and he goes, "Oh man," like, you know, like he hasn't done that in a while.
Yeah.
Beats all these guys up.
Yep.
What I liked most about this scene was it paralleled for me when Miyagi jumped in midway through the movie and beat up all the guys.
When
and
they were dressed as skeletons.
Yeah, and that's kind of when he first started teaching Daniel karate. And the thing I liked is in the next episode or whatever, it was one of the next few episodes, Daniel confronts Johnny about it and says, "Hey, I heard you beat up a bunch of kids." And he's like, "No, I beat up a bunch of assholes who were picking on some kid half their size." You know, and like, they never directly addressed it. He was never like, "Well, that's what Miyagi did for me." But like, that's exactly what happened. And like, I felt like Daniel was in the wrong there.
Yeah.
You know, like, he should have heard him out.
Yeah.
And Daniel has a very clear bias this whole time.
Yeah, of course.
So, you know, as far as action, what do you think about that?
I thought it was not too much.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good amount.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the episodes are only 30 minutes.
Right.
So I felt like they built to the right amount of fight scenes, I thought.
Yeah, I thought so too. I would say there's 3, maybe 4 major fight scenes. If you count I think you said yesterday, like the last episode is just a big fight scene. Right?
Yes.
It's just a bunch of tournament matches.
Yep.
And, you know, so I thought that the action was pretty good. There was some action in the beginning, and then there were little amounts of action throughout it.
Yeah, a little here and there.
Yeah, and the other thing I liked about it, and you know, I'd like to hear your opinion on this too, but I felt like the action was a little more realistic than what and I'm not saying like blood and stuff like that.
No.
But like, if a guy was fighting 2 or 3 people, and they started to get the best of him, he was pretty much screwed.
Yes.
You know, it wasn't like he fought his way back out of it.
Yeah.
Like Miguel, he starts doing karate, and he's kind of doing okay against this one guy, and then
they start
like 4 of them just drag him back and hold him down and beat him up. Like, he did not figure his way out of that.
Yeah, because that's, I agree. And then there was a scene where Johnny's kid was fighting 2 dudes, and he started getting the best of him, and he slid back, and he's like, "Cameras, guys, cameras."
Yeah, he saved his ass by saying, "You're on camera, don't want to." But yeah, you know, I thought that was cool because that's, let's be honest, there's 4 or 5 guys. You're usually not fighting your way out of that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you can't.
I think my favorite scenes were the actual in the Cobra Kai Dojo scenes.
Yeah.
Because the way Johnny talked to the kids.
Oh my gosh.
So there's this one kid who has like a scar on his lip.
Yeah.
Having a cleft lip.
Yes, and he had it repaired.
Yeah, but he still has a pretty nasty
And Johnny kept calling him Lip.
Lip. And so Johnny goes on this whole rant about flipping the script. And then, I don't know, fast forward 15 minutes in the episode, and in walks Hawk. So now the kid with the lip has got this giant blue mohawk, back tattoo of a hawk, and just basically is just completely changed.
Yeah, he just kind of went off the deep end. But one of the funniest lines, I've said it like 4 times now, was in that when he was picking on this kid. And he's like, well, if you don't want me to call you Lip, stop having a stupid lip.
Yeah.
Why don't you get surgery on that? Get it fixed. And he's like, well, I did fix. He's like, this is fixed. You need to sue the hell out of some doctors. and then he's like, what's wrong with you? Are you slow? And I'm not saying any of this is a good way to talk to somebody.
This is not a good
But this is just Johnny's character,
It's the character,
right? Like he's not an incredibly intelligent guy and is very direct, right? Like he just says what he's thinking. And kid, so he's like, are you slow? And he says, well, the doctors say I might be on the spectrum. And he's like, I don't know what that is. You better get off of it pronto.
Yeah.
I crack up every time I see.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know what that is. You better get off of it pronto.
I don't know what episode.
And it's not good. I'm not making fun of autism, but like the way he says it, it's like, oh my gosh, you just want to do a face palm for him.
Yeah, I can't remember what episode it was or how far, but one of my favorite scenes is with Hawk and talking about we can get my buddy Surge or whatever to tattoo bitch on his face.
Oh man.
Yeah, so it was a great show.
Yeah, so I mean, but Johnny does a lot of growing in it, and you know, the whole show, like throughout the shows, the underlying theme is him teaching them about what does it mean to strike first, what does it mean to strike hard, what does it mean to have no mercy, and I think what you see is like from the context of fighting, it means, you know, exactly what it says: strike first, strike hard, just keep beating them until they're down, right? Yeah. And I think over time he redefines that for himself.
Yes.
And you know, like strike first, and then he starts talking about, you know, and he's working with Miguel, and he's like tells him how to get a girl, right? Like how do you get a girlfriend? And you know, like strike hard means you go for it with everything. You know, don't take no for an answer. And there was another funny line. He's like, what are you talking about? And you can't ask her out. He goes, well, what if she says no? He's like, what are you talking about? You're Cobra Kai. We don't take no for an answer. He goes, but no means no. And Johnny's like, well, yeah, if things get physical, no means no. But you're just asking her out on a date, man.
Yeah, it's like no means no. If things get physical, yeah. Yeah, I like that one as well.
Yeah, and like, but like, I look at it as like he was really doing his best to try to help this kid.
Yes.
You know, he didn't mean he wasn't trying to beat this
all
kid
of
down.
the kids.
Yeah.
I felt that.
And
whether it's the right methods, I would argue probably not.
Probably not.
But he was trying.
It's what he knew, and so it's what he did.
Yep.
And, you know, and in a lot of the kids, he did kind of help them in a way, right? Like he helped them break out of their shell. Now he's got to figure out how to maybe fix some of the things he caused. And, you know, over time, he realizes that I think he realizes that this mantra that he's doing wasn't maybe the right thing, especially the no mercy.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it ends with Miguel and Johnny's kid fighting it out for the All Valley Championship.
Yeah, but I think that leads us to like our first major plot twist when Miguel starts dating Daniel's daughter.
Yeah. So this all happened before what I was just talking about.
Yes. But yeah, I mean back to what we were just talking about. But yeah, I think that was the first major plot twist, is when Miguel starts dating Daniel's daughter.
Yeah.
And then shortly after that is when Johnny's son, or estranged son, starts training with Daniel as his only student.
And like he kind of did it on purpose to piss off Johnny.
Yes.
But then over time just realized, hey, he liked this guy, he liked karate, because he just started working at the auto mall. And then realized, hey, I like this guy and I like what he's teaching me. And this kid was having problems. Like he was definitely on the wrong path.
Oh yeah.
And Daniel is kind of turning him around and setting him on the right path. And and then that kind of leads to another plot twist where Daniel's daughter and Johnny's kid definitely kind of has a thing for Daniel's daughter, but Miguel, you know, so now you have this little love triangle, as you called it, the teeny bopper love triangle.
Yeah, that was the one episode that was a little. I thought it got a little off the rails, but
that's where it started converting to saying, hey, these are main characters too. They're not just subplots.
Yeah, they had an entire episode dedicated to that. Yeah, so basically then Miguel shows up at the LaRusso household to introduce himself to his girlfriend's dad. Yeah. And at the time he walks in, or to the back of the house, and there sits Daniel LaRusso's daughter and Johnny's son.
Yeah, and just because he happened to be there with training with Daniel, and Daniel was like, hey, why don't you come eat with us?
Yep.
Like, and Miguel, of course, took it wrong because that's how kids are, right?
Yes.
And
assumed that
that led him down a different path, because Johnny had talked to him about, you know, Johnny's big mistake, I feel, was that in trying to help Miguel, he told him about his own problems.
Yes.
and said, hey, here's what happened to me in high school, and this is why Daniel and I don't like each other, and yada, yada. And Miguel took that very much to heart, as kids tend to do, right? Like, you tell them a story about you, and they look up to you, they're going to take that as, hey, I don't want that to happen to me, right? Like, that's what mentors is about. And so, like, now he's really afraid. He's like, oh, I can't let this kid take my girl.
Yep.
And this kind of starts setting him down the wrong path.
Agreed.
And kind of like an angry path.
Yeah. Fast forward like 5 minutes in the show, he's drinking beer now.
Yeah.
I feel like the moment he cracked that beer is when stuff started going off the rails. And
that's one downside I didn't like, is I feel like he turned too quickly.
Yes.
Because he kind of turned into the heel very fast.
Yeah, he went from the hero to the evil guy.
Yeah, you were rooting for this guy, and then all of a sudden, by the all the way through, like, midway through episode 9, and then, like, halfway into episode 9 and all of episode 10, you're like, you know what, fuck this kid. I hope he loses.
Yeah.
Like he needs to figure this out. But yeah, I mean, like
see, I think he's going to make a turn again.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Because he's a very likable character.
Yeah.
And quite honestly, he's a very likable actor. I like the actor. And that's another thing we should talk about. I felt the acting in this.
Yeah, it was surprisingly good.
I think everything's good in it.
Surprisingly good.
Yeah, like I'm shocked at everybody's.
Yeah.
You know, for what it is. I mean, I'm not saying they're Oscar worthy, but I mean,
for a YouTube series of an '80s karate movie,
I thought that the production value and all that was really good.
Yeah,
I read someone saying that they thought the production value sucked, and I was like, "Are you serious? Like, it looks to me like any other movie I see."
Yeah,
like,
any other, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I thought it was fine.
Yeah, and anyway, so back to the story and the plot and kind of our favorite points.
So one of my favorite points actually is when Johnny and Daniel confront each other at Daniel's house. So, a little backstory. Daniel has an idiot cousin that works at the dealership.
Oh, yeah, this is after he sets the car on fire.
Yes. And he brings some thugs over on motorcycles who bash up Johnny's Firebird.
Unbeknownst to Daniel.
Yeah, Daniel knows nothing.
He's just like, he's definitely got like the cousin that they hired simply because it's his cousin.
Yes.
Definitely has a Sopranos feel to him.
Yes.
Like he wants to be in the mob, but isn't.
Yeah. He's a dork that works at a car dealership who thinks he's connected.
Yeah.
But long story short, he brings over the crew, and they smash up Johnny's car.
And they set it on fire.
Yes. But I guess we got to talk about what Johnny did before that, though, to lead to that.
Oh, yeah. So Johnny got drunk one night.
Yep.
And this was... he and Daniel had a
something happened.
Like throughout this, they have a couple little tiffs.
Yes.
You know, they never actually fight, never anything that dumb, although the scene that you're talking about that we'll get to in a minute, they come close.
Yeah.
But basically, Johnny got drunk one night, and he was trying to hang up flyers, and Daniel was giving him a hard time because he was chaperoning a dance, and Johnny happened to be in the school trying to hang up flyers in there, and Daniel yelled at him.
Yep.
So Johnny saw a billboard with LaRusso Auto or whatever it is.
Picture of Daniel's smiling.
And he draws a giant red dick.
Yeah, hanging out of his mouth. So that's what leads the cousin to want to retaliate.
Yeah.
And in the process, he's like, you stay away from from Danny LaRusso or something.
Yeah.
And then Johnny goes to Daniel's house.
Yeah.
And
because Johnny's not the type that if you tell him to stay away, he stays away.
No. He basically asks him, where does he live? Where does he live? Shows up at the house.
Yeah.
And fast forward a little bit, Johnny and Daniel are squared off at the pool in their various kung fu stances. And they're getting ready to fight. And out walks the wife. And I'll let you tell this part because I know you really enjoyed it.
Oh, you know what, though? I think you remember the words better. But she just looks at him and she's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
She's like, as much as I'm sure you would love to have it out with your childhood karate rival, why don't we go in and settle this like adults over breakfast? And then Johnny just like looks at Daniel like with like your typical dude look and goes, I could eat. Yeah. I could eat.
Yeah, she says something about like the marble on the pool, or she's like, "Yeah, I want to clean blood off the pool." Yeah, I was like,
"That's
fair enough." That's what my wife would probably say in that situation.
Yeah, she basically the wife is kind of like the one who keeps telling Daniel, "Hey,
we're adults.
You're being an asshole in this situation. Stop it."
We have a beautiful home and a car dealership. You really want to piss it away over your karate rival?
Yeah, because he does a bunch of dumb shit. Like he goes to his car dealership rival. And basically assaults him.
Yeah, kicks the car, or not the coffee, it was a tea.
Yeah, the guy had made a commercial he didn't like.
Yep.
And over that, Daniel showed up and said, you need to back off, I'm having a rough time. And the guy's like just making fun of him because what else would you do?
Yeah,
I would too.
Yeah,
I'm going to be honest, I own a martial arts school. If some other martial artist from some other school came into my building and was like, dude, you need to stop advertising so much because you're growing too fast and you're taking, I'm going to relentlessly pick on him.
Yes, as you should.
Like, I'm going to be like, dude, you are being the biggest loser right now.
Yeah.
This is so funny to me.
Yes.
Like, and so anyway, so Daniel basically assaults the guy. He like does a spinning kick and kicks the cup out of the hand.
Yep.
Which technically that's assault.
Yeah.
Like, the guy could have brought him up on charges.
But that would have made for a bad episode.
Yeah, so they didn't do that. But, like, she mentions it.
Yeah.
You know, and basically she says, look, you've been a dick ever since you saw Cobra Kai. Why don't you just get over this?
Yeah.
You know, like, this is not a thing.
Yep.
You know, and, like, Daniel's acting like, you know, the Nazis have returned. And
yeah.
So, anyway.
Yep, so that was a good
that was a phenomenal episode.
Yes.
And that was toward the end.
Yeah,
and,
that's all.
And, of course, this all leads to the All-Valley Karate Tournament.
Jeez. Are you going to the All-Valley Karate Tournament?
Dude, I'm not good enough. How about the episode, though, when he was trying to get into the All-Valley Karate Tournament?
Oh, yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
Where Daniel did look like a dick in that episode.
He was a total dick in that episode.
And Johnny was, like, pretty civilized about it.
Yeah.
He had to go in front of the board.
Yeah, so little backstory. Johnny saw an ad for the All-Valley Karate Tournament and said, get your team entered now.
50th anniversary.
Yeah, and he calls, and Cobra Kai has been banned for life.
Yep.
And this leads to
them sitting in like a little town hall style meeting where there's Daniel LaRusso and 3 other random people that aren't really critical characters sitting up at a desk, and he's basically getting reviewed to get reinstated. And everybody's like, well, yeah, sure, you know, it was 25 years ago. We'll give you another chance. And Daniel
I like it. They're like reading off like who these people are. They're like, so apparently John Kreese and Terry Silver did this, and they're like, what's your relationship with Terry Silver? And Johnny's like, I don't even know who the hell that is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you watch the movies, he wasn't in any of those movies. Like he was graduated from high school and wherever he was by that time. Like because you know, Johnny was a senior in
I don't remember Terry Silver at all.
Yeah, he was in Karate Kid 3.
Oh.
So in the first movie was about Johnny and Daniel.
Yes.
And then in the second movie, Daniel spent a year in Okinawa.
Yeah.
And then in the third movie, they came back. So by this time, Johnny, you know, and Johnny got beat up by his instructor, John Kreese.
Yeah. At
the end of, or technically the beginning of Karate Kid 2.
Yes.
So, but it took place literally in time right after Karate Kid 1.
Yeah, he like broke his trophy. And
and so like he wasn't training with these guys anymore. And by Karate Kid 3, this guy Terry Silver brought in this guy Mike Barnes, like brought in a ringer, so to speak, to win the All Valley Karate Championship, and him and Daniel had to fight, and they were all dicks about it. And, and you know, the point is, that's who Terry Silver was.
Okay.
Johnny, he's like, I don't even know who that is, and he's like, John Kreese is dead.
Yeah.
So like, why does this affect me?
Yeah. And they're like, you know what? It doesn't. And
and all the karate guys are like, yeah, you know what? You're right. That's cool. And the one guy, you love him so much. What you keep saying about the school?
Cobra Kai. And a badass name for a dojo. Yeah. Like every time.
It's a badass name for a dojo.
Anytime he says it. Yeah. But basically, Daniel's just up there like, no, this guy was the biggest bully in my high school.
Yeah, and they're all like,
he's a piece of shit.
And they're listening. I mean, like, imagine for any of my friends out there that are like close to my age, 30 years old, 45 years old, whatever. You know, I'm 38.
Yeah.
I can't imagine, like, if someone came in my school right now or wherever, and I'm like hanging around you, and I'm like, no way, man, I can't hang out with that guy. That guy was a bully in high school. And you'd be like, you are 38 years old and you're still harboring anxieties over high school?
Give it another shot.
Jeez, oh man.
Give it a shot. You know, he might have did a little growing too.
Yeah, you know. Like, what are you talking about, man?
Yep.
And then, but I thought that was like one of the points where Johnny really shined.
Johnny looked like the hero for a while.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, do you remember what he said and stuff?
Basically just wanting to help these kids. That was the thing I took away from it. He said all the stuff I say about why I teach jiu-jitsu to kids.
Yeah, he's like, you know what, I love helping these kids. And then he, like, I feel like in that moment when he said it is when he had an epiphany. Mm-hmm. And he's like, and they're helping me too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's when he like really realized that he's changed.
Yep.
Like he's not the no mercy kind of guy anymore.
He's not. He's just a dude.
And that, I think that ended really well because that same episode was the one where Miguel had gone on the date with Daniel's daughter.
Okay.
And he had, so he had asked her out.
Yeah.
And at the end of the date, he got a kiss.
Yes.
And so like it ends with them, and this is the one right before, or an episode or two before Miguel's turn.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a great episode because it ended up with them both being like winners and winning, and you can tell that Johnny hasn't done that a lot.
Yeah.
And Miguel hasn't done that a lot, and they celebrated together, and it
was cool.
Yeah.
I like that one, too.
It was a great episode, I
thought so, too. Yeah, but then the next one was the one where Miguel starts drinking beer and just turns evil, like pops the cap on the beer, takes one sip, and now he's just evil.
And he was just down in beers.
Yeah.
And, I mean, he had to have been really drunk. And Anyway, so...
And then we get to the...
We are at the All Valley Karate Tournament. Let me set the scene.
Oh, my gosh.
Miguel's on the outs with Daniel's girl because he accidentally knocked her over when he was in an argument with...
Tried to punch...
With Johnny's son. Yeah. Because Johnny's son brought... Long story short, she was grounded, and Johnny's son was over at Daniel's house and snuck the girl out.
Came up with
to bring her to the party.
Yep.
He was actually being a nice guy.
Yep.
And Miguel misunderstood once again what was going on. Have you ever tried to reason with a drunk guy? Doesn't work.
A drunk 15-year-old?
Yeah, doesn't work.
Yeah.
So he just thought that they were together, and he got pissed, and he went to push the one guy, and she kind of moved, and he ended up pushing her down, and so she got all pissed. So they're on the outs. Johnny's son and Daniel got on the outs because Daniel found out that he was Johnny's son and lied to him. Yep. And Daniel was like, "You're out of here, man. Don't ever fucking come back."
Yep.
And, so that's the situation. We got Johnny's son on the outs. We got Miguel on the outs with Daniel's girl. But, they're all there to compete.
Yep.
And, so Johnny's son shows up unaffiliated because Daniel had kicked him out to compete. Daniel's daughter is just sitting and watching.
She's just a spectator at this point.
Yeah, and Miguel and the whole Cobra Kai team are there. Yeah. And they all have their moments.
Our boy Hawk.
Yeah, our boy Hawk does a really good job.
Yeah.
And they all fight their way to the finals.
Yeah.
And there's some really funny scenes.
I was going to say, we can't just pass
Go
up
ahead.
Hawk.
Go ahead. I know you want to talk about her.
So there's this girl, Moon, that's one of the popular girls, and Hawk ends up hooking up with her.
Yeah.
And during the fights, she's like, he's so hot. And then he wins one of his fights, peels off his kimono, and he has this hawk tattoo on his back, and he starts rolling his shoulders to make the wings flap on the hawk. Dude, it was great. And mind you, this kid's 114 pounds or something?
He's so tiny.
Yeah, but he's just flapping his wings, and he's got his mohawk, and long story short, I think he made it to the semis.
Yeah, and Moon's all gaga for him. So he's doing great in his life, although probably down the wrong path.
Yeah, he went from lip to...
Yeah, he needs to find a moderate spot.
Somewhere in between the two.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then the other one that was funny in that episode was you had the karate mom.
Oh, Xander's mom.
Yeah. There's this one-off character that doesn't show up until this tournament.
Yes.
Who apparently was the former champion, and his name's Xander.
Yes, he was last year's champ.
And he's beating everybody up and winning really well and doing flips over top of people and
pretty impressive stuff.
Crazy shit But then he takes the microphone. They're introducing the four people who've made it to the finals or the semis.
Semis, yeah.
So you got Hawk and Miguel, you got
Xander,
and you got Johnny's kid.
Yeah, what is this?
I can't believe I don't remember that.
I don't
Google that. It'll be on your Google machine.
Go ahead, keep talking though.
So they're introducing them, and everybody's just bows, and it's like, yep, that's me. I'm bowing. He's like, here's Miguel, and here's Hawk, and here's so-and-so.
Xander.
And here we have last year's champion, Xander, and he does a flip out into the middle of the thing and takes the microphone, and he goes into this speech about how he wants world peace and wants everybody to be better and all that. It was really strange. But the best part is it's your typical soccer mom, except for it's in a karate tournament. She's got a Z, in blue, on her cheek, and she's wearing a kimono.
She's got a gi.
Pom-poms and shit, and just looks like your typical, over crazy soccer mom that is yeah, go Xander, and she's just funny the whole time. Robbie, that's the name of Johnny's son.
I should have remembered that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but my favorite part is one more win, Xander, and Mama's back in the finals.
Yeah. So.
Yes.
Robbie beats Xander.
Good.
Or no. I'm sorry.
Miguel.
Miguel beats Xander.
Yep.
Robbie beats Hawk.
Yes.
And so now it's exactly what you expected to happen. Yep.
We're waiting for a crane kick.
Yeah. You got Johnny's kid,
for sure.
and you got Robbie, and it comes down to it that Robbie gets hurt a little bit, and Miguel keeps
same shoulder, just like Daniel hurt. Remember Mr. Miyagi doing
Daniel's
the thing?
knee. But,
it was his knee, wasn't it? He did do this thing though with the
So he gets hurt, and he goes. You have that locker room scene where he's like, "It's okay, man. This is fine. You don't have to go out there and fight." But he wants to, and so Daniel claps the hands together and starts rubbing them. And if you've ever seen the first one, you know that means he's going to put his hands on him and fix him.
Yeah.
So he does that, and he starts rubbing them, and he's like, "Medic, we need a medic in here.
We get a real doctor, please." She's like, oh, it's a
you expect him to do, he
Yeah.
knows this magic thing that
Yeah.
so.
No, that was lost.
But then this is where like another point where Johnny had a moment and Miguel had a bad moment.
Yeah.
Right? Like so. Long story short, Robbie's got the injured shoulder. Miguel keeps kicking the shoulder to open him up, and then scoring a point. Right.
Yep.
Then so he'll kick the shoulder, he'll drop it, and then hits him somewhere else. And at one point, Johnny brings him back. You know, like he's looking, and they don't really say whether it's because it's his son or because he's just actually grown as a human being, which is what I
Probably
like to
both.
think. You know, he brings Miguel and he says, "Look, man, I want you to win, but it matters how we win here." Mm-hmm. Like, and Miguel like totally doesn't understand what Johnny's trying to tell him.
He's like, no, man, no mercy.
He's like, yeah, I know, I got this, Sensei. I found his weakness. It's his shoulder. I'm going to keep hitting it. No mercy. I got this. Don't you worry, Sensei. I'll make you proud. And it's like you're missing. Like, but Johnny's not at that point where he's like, no, fucker, listen to me. Stop kicking him in the damn shoulder.
It's too late.
This is another child, and I don't want him to have trauma for the rest of his life from getting the hell kicked out of his shoulder.
Yeah.
You know, like, you can tell that he wants to say that, but he won't.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't. He's still got that kind of no mercy programming in him, and he doesn't know how to overcome that.
Yep.
And you know, and so Miguel wins the fight.
Yep.
Miguel wins, and you don't expect that. So this is like two where the bad guy wins the fight.
Yep.
Even though Miguel wasn't a bad guy for most of the thing, in this situation,
he is the
he
bad
had
guy.
definitely become kind of a bad guy.
Yep.
So that's kind of where well, there's a little bit more.
I was going to say they throw a couple plot twists to get you to want to watch season 2. Like they show Daniel's daughter.
Yeah,
like
she does like a flip kick or something.
Yeah, you can clearly tell she's going to be a badass in season 2. And then the final scene where the series ends or the season ends, it shows Johnny in the dojo at Cobra Kai, and out of the darkness walks John Kreese.
Yeah,
smoking a cigar.
I knew you could do it. Blah blah blah.
So here's my question: do you think he was really there, or was this some Johnny going crazy like fight club
I don't
shit?
know. That's what I was wondering because like we said earlier, he said that John Kreese was dead.
Yeah.
So maybe he thought he was dead and he wasn't, or maybe he's going crazy.
That's what I was going to say. Which one is it? Yeah. So I mean,
you know, like
they've set the scene for at least a good season 2.
Yeah. Part of me thinks he's really there.
Okay.
And the reason I think that is because the whole going crazy thing, that seems to be really deep.
And we're not that deep yet.
And this show seems a lot lighter hearted than that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Than this guy actually seeing people and seeing ghosts and shit. You know, like,
or
that seems like
or just
really
psychotic episode.
Yeah, it's really doesn't seem
heavy.
to be that heavy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think he's really there. And the next season is going to be a couple things. One, Daniel's daughter wanting to kick the shit out of Miguel in the tournament.
Which I'm sure she will.
And him trying to overcome that and get back in her good graces.
Yeah.
And it's going to be Johnny trying to figure out how to get out from underneath the fist of John Kreese.
Yep.
And Daniel, I think, is going to be the one who has to help him with that.
Yes.
And I think him and Daniel need to come together.
I think that's what's going to happen too.
And especially because Daniel took Johnny's kid back. He saw how honorable he was being and yada, yada, yada.
Yeah. So
and then that's the other thing. They decided that they're going to open up Miyagi-Do Karate.
Oh, yeah.
So
him Mr. Miyagi's old house.
Yeah. Because
Daniel owns the whole place, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so here's how I think it's going to go. I think Johnny, and this is pure speculation, I think Johnny...
You mean they didn't consult you on this?
Well, I mean, they did.
Are you sure you didn't sign anything? Because I don't want you to get in trouble.
Well, I didn't sign anything. That's why I'm speaking in speculation.
You put up air quotes, guys, so you know this is... I mean, I'm just saying it's a hot scoop.
Yeah, but anyways, I picture John Kreese starting the new evil. Mm-hmm. And Daniel and Johnny and Miguel and Daniel's daughter and Robbie, they all become the heroes going against John Kreese's evil group of whatever they come up with.
What do you think happens to Miguel then?
I think Miguel goes hero again.
Yeah.
I think he's going to make the turn back to hero real quick. He's just the kind of kid you like him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He's too likable to make.
But he did play a good heel.
I didn't feel it.
I didn't feel it?
When he was playing the good guy, it felt like real, like sincere,
legit.
like this is a good character for him. Whereas when he was the bad guy, I was like, eh.
You know what they could do? Because this kid did play a good dickhead, was Hawk. They could take Hawk and make
a
him...
turn.
Yeah.
Hawk could make a
and
turn.
just keep him going.
Xander? What if they made Xander make a turn?
Oh, that'd be hilarious, because we don't know anything about him.
Yeah, but if he made the evil turn after the love and peace speech and
yeah,
stuff.
well, like he lost, so like he came to Cobra Kai to learn better karate,
Yeah.
and
he's like flipping his hair as he gives the speech about how amazing everything is.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Anyway, long story short, I highly recommend the movie. Do you, or the TV series? Do you recommend it?
Dude, yeah.
Guys, it's on YouTube, Red, and I'm not getting paid to say this because YouTube don't even know who the hell I am.
Yeah.
But I recommend doing the 30-day free trial on YouTube Red just to watch this movie or just
You
show.
keep calling it a movie.
It's
In
because
your mind,
it's
a
filmed
sequel.
like that.
Yeah,
know, like it's got a movie feel.
It did feel like a movie that they just cut up into little slivers.
It felt
and
like
made
the sequel
episodes.
I've wanted since 1984.
Yeah. It did.
This is what it felt.
It really
like.
did.
You know, like I wanted to see where they ended up.
Yeah,
and
it was good.
I think it's great.
It was good.
Anyway, man, that's really all I've got. How can people get a hold of us if they want to talk to us?
Blackbelttips.com. Blackbelttips@gmail.com. Black Belt Tips on Facebook.
Yeah. Well, my Twitter is at Gracie Jiu-Jitsu.
Eddie Jiu-Jitsu 33.
I'm lying. It's at Top Level Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, there you go. Or Top Level GJJ, right?
Yeah, that's it. You can
Top
tell how
Level
long I'm on
GJJ
there.
and
Last time
Eddie
I checked, there were
Jiu-Jitsu
49 things that I had missed.
Nice. Nice.
All right, guys. I'm Bill Jones.
Ed Whitney.
And we're out.
Out.